On September 21, 1864, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency granted Charter Number 568 to First National Bank of Berwick. The bank was founded by 7 local businessmen who had a vision for a successful local community bank. The founding president and chairman of the board was Mordecai Jackson. Since the inception, the bank has played a key role in the life of the local community. In 2007, the bank completed an acquisition of Pocono Community Bank, thus expanding its operating footprint into additional counties. During the same time, the bank announced its decision to change the name to First Keystone Community Bank to reflect its now more regional nature. From 1864, the bank has grown from 1 branch, $50,000 capital stock, and 7 employees to its current 18 branches, slightly under $1 billion in assets, and 191 employees.
Community banking is in a unique position to help the communities that we serve. We work in these communities. We live here. We play here. We go to church here. We know the situation that is faced by the people in our community, and that gives us the ability to understand their specific financial situation and to develop tailored products, tailored loans and deposits to help them meet their financial challenges.
Specifically to First Keystone Community Bank, they're engaged in the Chamber of Commerce. We have representation on our board of directors. And obviously, the renovation and building of their Front Street location in Berwick was really transformative to the downtown and really shows a strong show of support for investing in specific communities as well.
Community banking is critical to the national economy and to the local economies that we serve. Our job is to bring in deposits from the communities that we serve and lend those funds out to the businesses and families that live and work in our communities.
First Keystone Community Bank has been very successful with consistent earnings performance in our history. We, of course, have had some challenges. The entire banking industry has in the recent years, but our strategy is to grow assets, to continue that performance, and our advantage as a community bank also is we can have a much closer hold and flexibility for maintaining strategies for income and expenses. So we're affecting both sides of the income statement. And when we see something start to become an issue, or there's a negative trend, or we see some opportunity, we can change those strategies both on the asset side and the liability side to affect the performance of the income. Our loan portfolio is primarily commercial real estate, approximately 50%. Our strength is in that particular market because we have a wonderful team that has historically been successful in that arena. And in addition, our board has been very encouraging in that market. So we've built our strategy around that market. Small business to medium-sized businesses, encouraging that growth in our communities to fulfill the necessary real estate acquisitions. We at First Keystone Community Bank have been able to see trends, been able to attack anything that we could in our day-to-day lives to affect that profitability.
So we identified that we want to move towards the universal banker concept. And what that means is that a customer can walk into a branch and they can be helped by any employee of the branch, whether it's to simply make a deposit or a withdrawal, open a new deposit account, make a loan application, anything along those lines. So most recently, I met with our training specialists, both the product specialist and our professional development trainer, and also our HR person and the person that's in charge of our retail bank. And we identified that across the board we had 13 different job descriptions, from everything from a beginning CSR right up through a regional branch manager. And what we're in process of doing is collapsing that into 3 primary job descriptions, 3 levels of a universal banker. Then from there, we're looking at the top managers from each of our regions and asking them to identify who the key candidates they feel would be to move through each of the progressions. From some of the employees, of course, they've been here for a considerable amount of time, they have the training, they'll be grandfathered into a Universal Banker 2 position or a Universal Banker 3. But we've developed training for each of those positions, asked the branch managers to identify who their key performers are, who has the most potential for career growth, and we will be slotting them into training and also moving them into those positions.
In our board succession, we're looking for contributors that will agree with our values and our mission and will help us implement our mission and values throughout our communities that we serve.
It was brought up with the millennials, how they're very socially conscious. And I think that is an attribute, absolutely. So I think when we bring in younger employees as they come here, those are the ones that are engaging in helping out our communities. We have gone in before and have done the community meals at the Salvation Army. And many of those, that younger set that's coming in as our employees are the first ones there to really help with that type of thing. And I think that's what they want. They want to be involved in their community. They want to help.
In terms of our management succession plan, we need to identify individuals that prefer a more rural lifestyle. We've found that it's best for us to identify that in a candidate up front because particularly young people that are just coming into the organization, if they have a bias towards living in an urban setting, they may not be the best fit for us. The other important issue in recruiting and in management succession is trying to identify candidates that have some connection to our area, whether they have a family connection, whether they have a business connection, whether they just have an affinity for the rural nature of our communities. Those are important characteristics that we look for, or those are important connections that we look for in helping us determine which candidates may perform better in the long run here at the bank. In terms of senior management of the bank, the succession plan goes on to identify candidates and their where they stand in their progression, in their career development, to be prepared to handle the next level position. And we actually identify candidates whether they would be ready now, whether they may be ready in 1 to 2 years, or whether they would be ready in 3 to 5 years.
As far as challenges within the organization and our succession plan, we have identified by going through our organization chart that we do have some openings. We have some retirements that are coming up, I'm going to say shortly, anywhere from a year to 3 years from now.
The bank's leadership succession plan has been developed to ensure that there is smooth transition when people leave for whatever reason. It starts with the executive management team, and of course the higher in the organization, the more developed the plan is around succession. As far as the CEO goes, the plan is developed down to the level of communications with media and communications with large customers and communications with shareholders to make sure that we get the information out about what is happening during the transition and what the bank is doing to replace that position.
First Keystone Community Bank is steeped in traditions but is focused on tomorrow's vision to be a leader in providing innovative, high-quality service to respond to the needs of the consumers in the local market area. The bank focuses on strong customer relationships provided by the experienced organization, which includes well-trained, service-oriented employees, a capable management team, and an active board of directors. After all, only important synergies between these factors can result in increased customer satisfaction and shareholder value.